Today, Baba is talking about imbibing the points of knowledge. And the first point of knowledge is about Baba. So, Baba says the first thing is who has come and who is teaching you. And have I imbibed that? And how do you imbibe the points of knowledge? By sitting in remembrance. When we sit in remembrance of Baba, then so Baba has many aspects, many properties. Baba is the ocean of purity, the ocean of peace, the ocean of love. Baba is the Almighty, but Baba is also the ocean of knowledge. And sometimes when you sit in yoga with Baba and remember the ocean of knowledge, then Baba helps you imbibe the points of knowledge. And when you sit with Baba and the ocean of knowledge, and you think about all the points of knowledge that Baba is giving you in silence, in concentrated yoga with Baba, then you start imbibing those points. And Baba says, the sign of somebody who has imbibed, who has come and who is teaching me, will be super sensuous joy. Baba's child who is daily studying from Baba will be filled with super sensuous joy when you come to the realization of, how such a greatest authority in knowledge is teaching me every day and how my Father has come for me. So, are you full of super sensuous joy all the time? Yes, so you have to ask this question. And what is it that you can have in terms of a relationship or attainment which can be greater than Baba? So Baba is the greatest relationship, the highest relationship, and Baba is the one giving us the highest attainments. And if I'm still not full of super sensuous joy that I now belong to Baba, then when will I be? Let me ask myself this question. Now you see, the thing is that we do not have the capacity for happiness anymore. Yes, so do you know these days people say there is this condition of being emotionally unavailable, or this condition of being depressed. And if you look at it, there are so many sanskars which stop you from imbibing that Baba has come and Baba is teaching me and Baba is making me the world emperor. So there are so many sanskars in us which kind of impede this imbibing of knowledge. One is the sanskar of mistrust. So lack of faith is a very deep sanskar. And although intellectually sometimes We have faith. Sometimes, intellectually you understand, when you think about it, all the pieces are coming together and there is logic and reason. But, there is a mistrusting heart. There is such a cold heart, a frozen heart, which doesn't warm up to Baba. And, I have felt that many children of Baba who even remember Baba, they remember Baba very technically, like a point is connecting to a point. But where is the love? The love that emerges from the realization that this is my Father. This is the one I had been waiting for 63 births. And this is the one who has come and adopted me and is teaching me, and who cares enough to, teach me, bless me every day, so that I can return to my world of purity, peace, prosperity, and happiness. So, that love that emerges from the realization of who has come and who is teaching me, that love is mostly absent. And that's why, although, people are, so even children are sitting in yoga, but that is not accurate yoga, because accurate yoga means you consider yourself to be a soul and remember your Father. Accurate yoga is not a point connecting to a point. That we used to do in other practices also. Have you seen that there are many places in the world where you go and you just concentrate on a point? But that is not the purpose of yoga here. The purpose is to connect with your Father and imbibe the virtues, the love, the purity, everything from Baba, because that is that is your birthright from your Father. Realizing that I am the child, I am made in Baba's image, and I am imbibing that which Baba has abundantly. And this is my birthright when I belong to Baba in Sangam Yuga. It is my birthright to get my inheritance from Baba. And with that love, when you remember Baba, then you see sins are burnt. But even when, technically many children are sitting in yoga, you don't see the transformation in their sanskars that should happen through yoga. Why? Because there is not that love, and that love is not there because the first thing, who has come and who is teaching me, is not imbibed. Intellectually you understand it, but then, does it make you that happy? Because you see, there is this sanskar of doubt, of mistrust, or, there is this heart that's so frozen that it doesn't allow you to warm up to Baba. And Baba says that even how will you deal with this also? So even when, my the lock on my intellect, which opens with faith, which opens with, love, that is not happening, still I must, try remembering Baba, and try considering myself to be a soul. Use the points of knowledge and just keep attempting it until my heart warms up to Baba. And then, Baba, so when I feel Baba, there is this expression that Baba always gives us, that there is the authority of experience. So, when you have experienced something, then you may not be able to explain it to somebody. But when you have experienced something, then nobody can make you doubt that experience. That experience gives you a very big authority over what you know. And Baba always gives this example that suppose there's a basket of mangoes and you have tasted the mango, and then you have tasted that it is sweet, then nobody in the world can convince you that it is sour or bitter, because that is the authority of experience. And when your heart warms up to Baba, and then you have accurate yoga, and the experience of accurate yoga, when Baba fills you with the love, the care, the strength, the purity, the joy, when you allow Baba to fill you, because when you're sitting with your closed heart. So have you seen that? So when you keep your heart open, then whatever anybody does, or who they are, or what they speak, it starts influencing you. And when you close your heart to somebody, then that person might be there, but then you are not feeling what they are saying or what they are doing, or you're not even feeling their company. Have you seen that you're sitting with somebody and then your heart is close to them? So you don't feel what they are doing, or their presence, or their words. And this is the quality of the closed heart. And because of Ravan Rajya, because we spent 63 births in a world where we learned everything about God, which was untrue. We were conditioned into believing that God is somebody who gives us sorrow, and God is somebody who is, punishing us, and God is somebody who is, not doing anything about the condition of the world. And then our heart become, and we didn't even think about God as an entity. We thought about God as something that is, it's not a someone. We thought God is a something rather than a someone. And He's like air that is all pervading, and is like some element of nature. And our hearts became totally frozen. Our hearts have become very cold towards Baba. And there has been no relationship with Baba for 63 births. Some traces of it maybe, but then mostly that relationship was severed and broken. And then you see now, when Baba comes and Baba meets us, then we don't warm up very easily to Baba, because this is a relationship which had been lost and forgotten for 63 births. So once we start, churning on this truth, you start, of course, you start with intellect. You start thinking, who else will take so much care of me, or who is going to teach me every day, or who is going to give me these directions to become pure? Does anybody in the world benefit from your purity? Nobody. Everybody benefits when you're vicious. But who is it who comes and tells you every day that become pure? Or who is it that, who is coming and directing us to remember Him, so that our sins are burnt and we become light and we radiate light? So when you think about these things, and with the power of knowledge, keep churning, and then you keep trying to connect your heart to Baba. And then slowly, gradually, you reach a point when your heart melts. But if you don't try, if you don't make this effort every day, then I don't think our hearts can warm up to Baba just like that. Our hearts, right now, our intellects are twisted, and our intellects are dysfunctional, and we are always warming up our heart to people who have broken our heart, to desires that have left us shattered. But we are not warming up to the one who is who has come to us, teaching us, who is blessing us. And in order for that change to happen, you have to make a lot of effort. First, the effort of churning knowledge, the effort of sitting and contemplating the points of knowledge that Baba gives you, and then trying to remember Baba, of course, on the foundation of knowledge, because there is no experience or there is no affinity right now. So you keep trying to remember Baba, and then slowly, gradually, that love, that light, maybe, small glimpses of it, when they come and enter you, then your heart melts, and then slowly you start having yoga with Baba. And that yoga, true yoga, or, accurate yoga, yoga with Baba, yoga not just with a point or a laser light. Most people are having yoga with a point of light or a laser light. They are not having yoga with Baba. Baba is a point of light, but a point of light is not Baba. So, whether you are having yoga with Baba or you're having yoga with a point of light has to be discerned. And then when you have yoga with Baba, then that starts burning your sins and making you light and filling you with power and changing your sanskars. And when those sanskars are transformed, then your intellect starts functioning differently. When the soul is purified, then the mind is purified. The intellect takes accurate decisions, it discerns well, and the sanskars start emerging, the deity sanskars. So this is the process. And Baba says that another very big thing about yoga is that it kind of pacifies your organs. So when you start having accurate yoga with the ocean of purity, then purity, which is my original sanskar, it starts emerging. And when the sanskar of purity emerges, then my sense organs, they start cooling down, and then there is not much turbulence in the sense organs. Your eyes, your every sense organs, they kind of cool down. And then you don't have criminal vision because your intellect has also changed. You start remembering. When you remember Baba, when you not try to remember, but you actually remember Baba, then this remembrance that everybody is a brother soul, this also starts making sense. So Baba says that for all of this, for filling yourself with power, for cooling your senses, for changing your sanskars, for changing your criminal eye to civil eye, you need the power of remembrance. And for that, the first thing is, first practice remembrance for long hours. And Baba says, for that, I give you many methods, but only those who are fortunate pay attention to these methods. And today, Baba talks about three things specially which caught my attention. First is, Baba says, keep a chart of remembrance, keep a diary of remembrance. And you cannot understand the power of keeping a chart until you keep a chart. Sometimes you think that what difference does it make? I already know how much I'm remembering or not remembering Baba. And it doesn't make a lot of difference if I keep the chart, I write it in a diary or not write it in a diary. But when you start noting it down in a diary and you start maintaining that chart, then you understand the power of that chart. I remember there was this one, and this power of writing a chart or maintaining a chart is very huge. And I realized it when I started writing the chart. For a long time when I came to Baba, just like every student, I also used to hear write a chart, maintain a chart, but I never did that. And I always thought, what is it about writing a chart every day? It's okay. I know how much I remember Baba, and what more will I figure out when I write a chart? But when I started writing a chart, I started feeling ashamed. I started feeling worried. And I think, in this world, um, ego motivates. So, ego is our biggest sanskar. And the biggest, most powerful sanskar of Kali Yuga is ego. And you know what ego can make you do? I don't think other virtues make you do, because the ego is more powerful than love right now. So, love of Baba maybe cannot make you remember Baba, but when your ego is hurt, that you feel ashamed, that why am I remembering Baba so less, and what would Baba feel when he sees this chart, or what would the Nimit teacher feel when they see this chart, what would they think about me? Then you start, either you are honest and you start bettering your chart, or you're dishonest and you start lying about your chart, or you're dishonest and you stop writing your chart. So, this is what happens when you write your chart. I will tell you one thing. I remember when I came into Gyan, then, there was this one test that we gave in the center. And I was all of 6 months old at that time. And then there were others who were seniors. And then there was this test, and I got very less marks in that test. It was a 10-mark test on Murli, and I got very bad marks in that Murli test. And there was one Mata, and she got 10. And I felt very ashamed because I had never got less marks in school or college or university. And then I felt like, that ego hurting, that feeling of being ashamed, that made me study very hard. And today I am at that place where I do everything for the love of Baba. But Baba devises many methods for us to make progress. And one method is, writing a chart, and then if your chart is not accurate, you feel ashamed. But even that feeling ashamed will inspire you to do better. And take one point of caution, that if you are feeling ashamed, don't stop writing the chart or don't start lying about it. Because I know many Baba's children who write false charts and send also. Because they think, it's important, because we have lived in a world where looking good is more important than being good. That's the sanskar right now. So the children, when they come to Baba, they are not thinking about whether I am becoming better or not, but they are only interested in looking good in the eyes of the Nimit sister to whom they send the chart. So you must understand that if you write a false chart, then you get, 100-fold punishment. Because A, you are not accumulating power through remembrance, and B, you are lying to Baba. And lying to Baba is a very big sin. So just pay attention that you write your chart every day, and when you feel ashamed, make it better. Every day improve it. Every day think in the morning that I have to submit my chart at night. So what should be my chart? How many hours do I have to put in? And when you pay attention since the morning, then you will be able to write that chart at night very well. So Baba says that use this. And then second thing Baba says, Sometimes, when you maintain your chart, you start, that chart makes you concerned whether you're going into loss, because sometimes you don't realize how less yoga you're having and how much you're going into loss. I remember, there was this one sister and she used to study, and then she used to keep sitting in the table on the table, and then I noticed that she's not studying very much, but she's just sitting on the table. And then I asked her to use a stopwatch. So she started using a stopwatch, and she started, whenever she was actually studying, she would switch on the stopwatch, and then when she was not studying or her mind was wandering or she was taking breaks, she would close it, she would switch it off. So when she figured out that she's sitting on the table for 8 hours but she's studying only 2.5 hours, because she calculated properly. Then she started worrying that, will I really pass my exam? Because earlier, she was living in this, in this fancy thought that I'm studying for 8 hours and I'm getting very tired and I'm doing a lot of hard work, and I'm actually putting in a lot. But when she realized that it's only 2.5 hours, then she started worrying about whether she will accumulate that much of knowledge until the end. So similarly, Baba says, when you honestly write your diary and you note, even if you sat in yoga for 45 minutes, how much time did you actually have yoga? And how much time through the whole day, while walking, talking, working, doing Baba's seva, how much time were you actually in remembrance? Okay, you listened to the Murli, but did you listen to it in Baba's remembrance? If you listen to it in Baba's remembrance, that will be counted as remembrance. But if not, then it's not remembrance. And if you did seva, it is your chart of seva is good. But where is your chart of remembrance? If while doing seva, you were thinking about seva, not remembering Baba. And where is your remembrance all day? Or even when you're sitting, for the first 15-20 minutes, your mind was wandering. And then just for 5-10 minutes in the end, you remembered Baba. So when you start noting it in the diary, then you become aware that, yes, my chart is very less. And when you start becoming aware, then you become concerned about whether I'm actually creating the fortune for which I'm here. And that also improves your chart of remembrance. So, and without remembrance, you cannot reach your karmatit stage, you cannot change your sanskars. So, remembrance is the most important thing. And then, second thing Baba today says is, check why are you not able to remember Baba? Where is your intellect wandering? And when you check, then what do? Change. And how do you change? Through empowering your intellect. You have to start counseling yourself, talking to yourself. Self-talk is the way to change your intellect. So, if your intellect is wandering too much, so for example, if somebody has a sanskar of thinking about the behaviors of people or thinking about something that happened, then you have to sit. When you recognize, why are you not able to have remembrance of Baba? And the next question you ask yourself is, who are you remembering then? Yes, if you're not remembering Baba, then who are you remembering, or what are you remembering? And then you reason out with yourself that this remembrance is not going to serve me. And believe me, if you started talking to yourself every day, and through that self-talk, you started removing your intellect from the one or the thing that it is remembering and started directing it to Baba, then slowly, gradually, your chart will become better. Baba today uses the example of a businessman whose intellect is wandering into the business. So, that businessman has to talk to himself and tell himself that I am a soul and ultimately I have to go with my imperishable income, not this perishable income. And second thing, okay, I think about my business when I'm in the business, okay, but why do I think I'm a 24 hours businessman? No, I took the role, I did made decisions, I to put my intellect into it. Now it's done. Now let me return to being a soul. And when you start talking to yourself like this, when you start bringing yourself to, to your centering and to your yoga with Baba, then slowly, gradually, every day you have to do a lot of self talk. Have you seen that today, these days, people are talking about counseling and then they go for therapy? So they have to talk to their therapist every day. And who is our therapist? Our therapist is myself with Baba. So, you have to talk to yourself sitting with Baba, sitting in a knowledgeful, powerful state. You have to talk to yourself. And that therapy cannot happen once a week or, once a day. It has to happen continuously. And when you start continuously talking to yourself and continuously reasoning out that I don't have to remember this perishable world and its perishable relationships and attainments, but I have to remember Baba. Okay, I have to take care and I perform by role. Now let me come back to remembering Baba. So when you do that, then you will be able to remember Baba and arrive at accurate remembrance and then fill yourself with power. Then third thing Baba today says is, Baba gives us a very good yukti, a very good method to remember Baba. And what is that method? Baba says, take a break, go to a garden or a park and sit there in solitude and talk to Baba sweetly. Yes, so take out time to talk to Baba. And the best thing is, move from your workplace, move from your home, go to a park, go to a garden, maybe very close by, but sit there every day for some time. And then during that time, talk sweetly to Baba. Just talk to the one who loves you, who cares for you, who is here for you. Just like you take out time for people, take out time for Baba to have a conversation with Baba, to have a conversation with the ocean of knowledge, ocean of love. And Baba says, maybe mothers or matas, they don't find so much time to go out. They are, they are busy in their households. But brothers can do that. But I think, these days mothers can also do that. Because these days, when you go to the parks or go to any place, women are also going out and spending time. Because earlier it was such that women didn't leave the household so much and they were supposed to be at home. But these days, women take out time for everything. And women have arrived at, most women, I'm not talking about all because everybody's condition is different, but most women also have the liberty to go out and take time out for themselves. So Baba says, just take out time, go to a park, sit in solitude, physical solitude and also solitude for the soul, where you are alone with Baba. And then talk sweetly to Baba. And this will warm up your heart to Baba. Because when you talk sweetly to Baba, you also receive his sweetness. And you can feel it in your heart. If you have not started talking to Baba, you will not feel that Baba also is answering you when you are talking to Baba. So build this relationship. So this Murli is all about remembrance and opening your heart to Baba, and filling yourself with power and super sensuous joy. Om Shanti.